Now we're live. Hello there. Welcome to the Force Collective. I'm Shade with Sir AOA and Commander Tano. We got Chrono coming in a little bit later, but today we're just going to be talking mainly. Well, should we start off with the other topic that me and you talked about, Sir AOA, or do you think we should start off with that one? Okay. So the slave won. Oh, here we are.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Am I? I am, ain't I? We have a sponsor for today's stream. And I'll let Sir AOA do the honors. Go ahead.
Thanks, Shade. Today's sponsor for the Force Collective is Imperial Toys. Celebrate the heroes of the Empire with these high-quality action toys from the Galactic Empire's best and only toy manufacturer. Get heroes like Order 66 Wrecker. This soldier will crush all traitors with a smile because he knows all good soldiers follow orders. How about Admiral Cassius Constantine, who breaks formation to take it to the dirty rebels head-on with his mighty interdictor. But if you want to look rebels straight in the eye, get Agent Callus, the Imperial Security Bureau's best rebel hunter wielding his Lestat bow rifle. Purchase all these at your local Imperial memorabilia retailer. Imperial Toys, long live the Emperor. Back to you, Jade.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That was wonderful. Also, hello, Chrono. Nice that you're here.
Hello there.
So the first thing we're going to talk about, it's going to be a shorter topic, but I want everybody's opinion on it, and maybe we can, because it's something that I think that I've not had anybody else to talk to about it, at least around me, like within 6 feet of me, well, no, they shouldn't be 6 feet. Social distancing. Almost forgot.
That's oddly specific.
That was oddly specific. I didn't mean it to be that way. Oh well. So well, the thing is, I haven't really gotten to talk to anybody and hear their opinions about it. All I see is what's on the internet. So I sort of want to well, it wasn't exactly my idea to put this on here, but now that it is, I'm glad because now I have somebody that I can talk to about it. So I'm going to start with Sir AOA since he's underneath me, and I'm going to get his take on it, and I'll just go down the list, like we usually do. So go ahead, Sir AOA. Tell me what you think about the name change.
At this present moment, I really don't have enough information to sort of have a real concrete opinion on it. Because the thing is that one thing that was sort of brought up to me was the fact that, well, frankly, all the Lego ships are sort of named in the same naming convention, which makes sense, mainly because, when 8-year-old Timmy is sort of going, I want the Lego Starship! It's not like he's going to know exactly the name of the starship. So all of the Lego starships have the same naming convention. The Bad Batch. It's the Bad Batch ships, starship, and it's Darth Maul's ship. It's not. Damn, I can't remember the Bad Batch's ship.
Oh my gosh, I can't either. Oh no.
And it's not the scimitar, it's Darth Maul's starship, unless it's the other one. I don't know which starship, Darth Maul's starship that Lego has. But I don't know if it's seen elsewhere. it makes sense that Disney would be doing that, and it's crap if they are doing it. Yeah,
I think that was a little late. There we go.
It just all depends on sorry. It just all depends on if this is something that they're going all through the toys and all through the lore and changing, or if it's just sort of a case of they're just doing it for the Legos because, well, yeah, the age demographic they think they're aiming for won't know what it is, but the age group that probably buys all of it would know what it is.
Yeah, that's true. That's how I feel mainly, is that if it's just the Lego Starship, fine, whatever. But if they go out of their way to phase out the name in the lore, that's where they cross a line for me.
Men to arms! We're taking it to Disney!
Yes, exactly. We're going to start a rebellion, and we're going to all just become Boba Fett. We're all going to go to Disney, dress as Boba Fett, and be like, "That's our ship."
Just to be Boba Fett.
Okay,
probably so mispronounced all that.
I couldn't tell you if you were or not. I'm not with it today. So, Commander Tano. Oh wait, are you done? I don't want to cut you off if you're not done.
It is just sort of a case of if it is just like you said, if it's just Legos, yeah, okay, yeah. But yeah, if it's something that they're going through everything and just changing all the problematic titles, then yeah, no.
Well,
we should be tearing them a new one.
Okay, so before I go on to Commander Tano, I got one thing to add to that. So, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. There is no doubt that ship will be in the game. It's like been in every Lego game. So, they will probably end up, like, if they end up changing the name in the Lego game itself, because the Lego game will be played not just by kids, but also by a bunch of like older Star Wars fans as well, including myself, because that's how I got into Star Wars. I love Lego Star Wars, so I will play it myself too. And if they end up changing in there, that might actually annoy me a little bit, because it's not even just kids, and you know that they'll know the ship when they see it on there, and they will learn the name of the ship on the game. They don't have to market it because they're not marketing the game with that Lego set specifically in mind. So to change all those ships' names would probably be bad, in my opinion. Like saying Darth Maul Starship, Boba Fett Starship, like it sort of takes away from the lore aspect that the game would have, because all the other Lego games that you've been able to pilot ships in, especially the ones where the Slave One was in it, it was named the Slave One. So there is a bit of lore in these Lego games, however childish they are. But I know I'm giving my own opinion about this. I think I'll skip myself at the end. I'm sorry. But the thing about it is, if they end up doing that in the games and in the shows, like just not using the name or phasing it out like that, that's the problem. That's my take on it. And we'll go ahead and move on to Commander Tano. Go ahead.
All right. I'm trying to think, because I think my opinion is very similar to both of yours. You know, I feel I don't know enough yet, and I'm more curious to see, is this just a thing where they're just relabeling or standardizing labels for Lego toys, or is this something bigger that's going to affect everything? I also am like, it's like, if it's just like a Lego thing, I okay, whatever, I don't care. But I think if it's something that they're going to apply this to other media, to, you know, movies or shows. It's like, and just, I guess my question is, it's like all these questions involving kind of, if you're familiar with the use mention distinction in,
Mhm.
you know, and how one handles, like, you know, you can find in the news cases where, like, say a college professor, say if they're teaching, you know, a literature course and they read a passage from a book and it contains, say, a racial slur. And there are cases where it's, if a college professor, you know, reads from that passage, they've been called up and disciplined, or, you know, been threatened with losing their jobs over something like that, where it's like they're clearly not prescribing use of that language. It's just descriptive. They're
Mhm.
just showing what is in that text that the class is studying. And so I kind of wondered, you know, in terms of the franchise, it's like, if you can't keep the label of that ship, it's not like having that ship called the Slave One. It's not like, oh, you know, Lucasfilm and Disney are supporting slavery or something, but because there's a ship that's named that. It's like, I would think if they're going to change the name of the ship, then they should, to be consistent, they should just remove use of the word slave, period, in any context, because I feel at that point it's, if that's just, that would be consistent, and that would be really silly to do that, because it's like the whole point of Star Wars is it's obviously Star
There are
Wars isn't
slaves in
real.
the Empire.
Yes, it's like yeah, Star Wars isn't the real world, but there are analogs to the real world in Star Wars. There is slavery in Star Wars. How can, if, you know, if you're willing to remove that from, remove that word in that instance, I don't see how you're able to meaningfully talk about that, about slavery or slaves in any context, because it's, you have to use the word. I just, I don't, I guess I'm confused how the people making those decisions, if that's, you know, the reasoning behind that. I guess I don't see how they see how silly that is, and how that actually prevents one from talking about slavery.
Mhm.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good take.
Actually, just with Commander Tano telling us about how some professors have been getting into trouble, it reminds me of a professor that got in trouble for correctly speaking Mandarin.
Oh yes, that's a great example. That's what's so insane. It's the fact that it's like, I'm not sure whether I'm more concerned about the, you know, the students that report things like this, or the administrators who swallow this hook, line, and sinker and fall for this. Yeah, anyways.
It's a bit of both, and I can't remember what the word is and what it's translated into English. But I can't even remember how you pronounce it. But the word sounds very much like the that N word that should not be mentioned. But and there's actually a song in China that pretty much half the chorus is that word. And the craziest thing is that it's about, I think it's about My Little Pony.
Wow. Wait,
So,
what? Wait.
There is a song where it's either about unicorns or My Little Pony or something like that. And the chorus is made up of this word in Mandarin, that sounds like the so-called naughty word.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you actually speed it up, it sounds like they're just saying that word multiple times.
Wow. Okay.
And it's all happy and very bright and childlike. And I'm trying to think of a Western song. Actually, I can think of many Western songs as an example, but they're all Australian.
So what you're saying is Mandarin should be cancelled.
Well, according to university students, yes, Mandarin should be cancelled.
University students, I think they need to be canceled.
Not
all of
no,
them.
they're yeah.
Not all of them. Just the ones that act like that.
You'd be doing them a favor and saving them a lot of money in terms of student debt if you canceled them.
That's true. They're wasting their money on gender studies and all that junk.
Now I've lost my train of thought. Oh well, the train has been derailed.
Okay. Well, since we ended, we'll say that's the end of that. Let's get Chrono here in his opinion about the Slave One. Go ahead, Chrono. Tell me what you think about the name change.
Well, as I mentioned in Twitter, you probably saw the one I quoted you on.
Yeah.
It was the Lego designer actually explained that Disney is the one behind the whole thing. It's not even Lucasfilm. Disney is trying to sanitize the word slave from any of their productions because of the current climate. We all know it's happening right now. And yeah, I like you said, I do have a problem with it because sure, it could be just a Lego set, which means nothing, but it's not just that. It's part of the whole cultural battle we're fighting right now. They try to eliminate these terms because they are problematic to some people, and companies and universities and everyone is buying into it. I know it happens because of the people infiltrated in all those levels that have convinced entire institutions these things are wrong. But it's like you said, it's insanity. At this point, people are getting upset over really stupid things when there are graver problems that should be addressed, and they are not. We were concentrating on everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything is problematic for some reason. I did know about the professor they mentioned, and there was a Japanese player in a stream who got the same from a Japanese word that means run, and it also sounds like the N word.
Yes, I know about that.
And they made a whole mess about it, and it's like, why? I mean, do they not know that different languages have different pronunciations? I mean, how difficult is it to understand that? And they go along with it like it's like yeah, these people are all about racism and they want to destroy black people and they want. No one's after them. No one has been for a long time. So yeah, going back to the topic at hand. Yeah, it's not just the Lego set. Sadly, I wish it was, but now it's not. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this has to do also with the fact that the Book of Boba Fett is coming. And I'm pretty sure then the more we're going to see about Boba Fett for the future is going to be trying to make him another sympathetic villain, which I really don't like. I think he shouldn't be converted to a good guy. He should. I mean, he can do good stuff without having to go full good guy. Mm-hmm. I don't really like that. They have been doing. They just did it with Cruella, and it really was a real mess. I mean, I don't think they should do that with Boba Fett, and I think the ship's name should remain the same, but it will not. They have been changing things, and they will keep doing it. I don't think it's going to end at one Lego set.
Yeah.
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 So, I mean,
I mean,
I've seen
I've seen
somebody
somebody
tweet out
tweet out
if you
if you
didn't like
didn't.
Star Wars, like what it what it was, all that stuff, you shouldn't have bought it. If you're just going to change it all up like that. So
Oh yeah,
I mean,
right.
that's the absolute truth right there. Like if they didn't like how Star Wars was, they shouldn't have bought it because now they're making all these changes and nobody likes it. Nobody likes these changes, but they're still doing it because they are the moral high ground, even though the only high ground is Obi-Wan, okay? But
Yeah.
they think they're taking his place, and they're not. There's no way. You seriously cannot take this gorgeous man's place right here.
Hello there.
He shows up whenever we speak about him. Okay. I think that's probably enough on that because I'm sure that we all want to just talk about the Bad Batch for the most part. But
Oh no, I enjoy about the death of society because of the cotton wool generation.
well, the thing is, they're using this might sound bad, I don't know. But I feel like a lot of them are just using slavery from the past as an excuse to riot now. And I think that's stupid because half the people
Really?
It-
Don't say.
Look.
It just happened with the athletes. You saw that, right?
Yes.
The athletes that are crying racism because they perform poorly or because they one of them did drugs and the other was like refused to acknowledge the anthem. I mean, what the hell?
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I've seen so much stupidity, and most of it I learned through Twitter, and that's the best place. If you want to go find stupidity, Twitter.
You don't say.
You'll
Even-
never find a hive of scum and villainy like Twitter.
Oh, wait. Are you saying Mos Eisley is the living embodiment of Twitter? Oh,
no,
no.
I'm saying Twitter is the living embodiment of Mos Eisley.
Oh, other way around. Fine, whatever. I got that mixed up. I told
might
you, I'm
be
not
worse.
with it today. But go ahead. Sorry.
Well, and I think, and you may be segueing into this, but I think, I may have said this before, but one thing I notice kind of with current various contemporary outrage cultures, what they all seem to have in common is when I look at their chief proponents and advocates, the people who are actually churning this stuff out, the one category that they don't talk about, I won't go so far as to say never, but I'm pretty close to saying never because I actually can't recall any time I've heard, say a critical gender theorist or a critical race theorist or a critical fill in the blank theorist. The one category I've never heard them talk about is class. And I think there's a reason for that because I think if there is any category that actually does map out to real differences between people, it is class differences. And the reason you don't hear it from these people is all of these people, most of them at least, they're from the 1%. They are extremely privileged people who get paid thousands of dollars in speakers' fees and so forth. And they have very little attachment to the actual communities that they claim to be advocating for in the 99%. And so that's a reason. If you turn that conversation into a discussion about class, and I don't mean strictly necessarily in terms of economic class, but just in terms of power and ideological privilege, those people would go and hide from the discussion because they would become the oppressor category, and they absolutely do not want to become that. And so that's why they try to find other categories by which that they can make themselves the victims, even though they are often end up being athletes who make millions of dollars and have multiple houses and all these lovely things. And so yeah, I find it so interesting and telling. That's the one category you very rarely hear them talk about, if at all.
Well, it's probably more of a case of I don't want to use the word, but probably more sort of like privilege guilt. See, they're all living such comfortable lives, and they're all sitting around going, "Oh my god!"
A lot of it is projection, frankly. I think a lot of what they say about evil things other people do, it's because that they have it's more likely that they have those thoughts churning inside their heads. You know, it's
That's the thought in my head. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just want to.
Are you outing yourself as one of the 1% shade?
And why would I do that? I would never do that.
Liar!
I'd never do that.
He's part of the 1%! Quick, burn him!
And I'm not trying to, say someone in the 1%, if you're in the 1%, you're evil, or if you're financially successful, you're evil. I'm not trying to go for that, but I am saying it's really telling when people, when people who are espousing these ideologies, that's one element of their cultural critique that always seems to be missing. And I think because I don't know, I personally think often, a white person and a black person of the same class often have more in common than, say, a white person and a white person of different classes. At least that's what I've observed.
Actually, there was a Saturday Night Live skit that pretty much brought exactly that up. It was the skit was Black Jeopardy.
I think I know what you've seen it about. I think so,
and
yeah,
they had
the one with Chadwick Boseman.
No, the one with Tom Hanks.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Because you had two of the SNL cast, they were black women, so they were playing Black Jeopardy. And then they had Tom Hanks playing as a MAGA supporting Southern white, you probably could say hillbilly trash.
Stereotype. Am I right?
Oh yeah. And the thing was that as the game was being played, all of the questions were meant to be. I've got no idea because this is a very American centric skit. But they were all meant to be, questions that only black people would know. But Tom Hanks kept on getting them right. And they kind of realized that they had more in common than they didn't. And the skit ends. I can't remember, but the skit ends. I think it was like with no, not quite. I think the skit ends with sort of a big case of and the next part of the episode will be African slavery or something like that, and they all look at Tom Hanks, and that's the end of the skit. But it had an unbelievable amount of truth to it, that when it comes to the classes, no matter what skin color you have more in common than people in higher classes. And the last thing that I actually want to point out, and this would break all the uni students' minds about this, is that when they go, eat the 1%, they kind of don't realize that they are part of the 1%, even if they're from the middle class. Because if you earn more than, I think it is 20,000 US a year,
Yep.
you are part of the world 1%.
Yep.
Actually, Tim Pool pointed that out because he was down in Venezuela during, I think it was one of the Occupy movement protests while they were going on in the States. And some of the Venezuelans were going, why are the rich people protesting? And he's gone, no, that's the poor. And then he's just realized what he was about to say and realized that to all the Venezuelans, the people on food stamps are the rich people.
Oh, I see something coming now.
Oh.
You want to know what it is?
No.
They're coming for him now.
Yeah, but just sort of realize that the entire world looks upon the middle class of America as one of the rich people, as one of the 1%. So, perspective, it's an amazing thing. And I wouldn't be surprised when it comes to all of these protests and all these champagne socials, even if they are from the middle class or the lower middle class. Yeah, your life is like 300 times better than some farmer in the middle of Africa.
True.
They probably would not be protesting if they were actually taught something at school. Shock horror.
Okay, that I did not understand. You're cutting out a little bit.
Oh dear. At what point did I cut out?
Right before you said, "Oh dear." But you sound good now.
I can't remember where I was with that now.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make one.
Hopefully, it was recorded on the stream and not.
Hopefully. Well, I'm going to make one little point real quick before we get into the, as I say, meat and potatoes of the stream, the Bad Batch discussion. One little thing about this whole culture war thing. Everybody is finding a reason to be offended. I don't know what it is. I don't know what has happened to this country. But everybody wants to be offended by something so they can be an activist and change it. I don't know what kind of rush it gives them. Is it like drugs to them, getting offended and changing something? I don't know. But like,
yes, that's called dopamine.
I think. Well, I think everyone likes to think of themselves as heroic and partake in some sort of act of heroism, and in the absence of, I'll say, like, real major dangers and monsters and challenges to conquer, people then turn to the little things.
Yeah.
And then it looks ridiculous.
Yeah. See, you know what?
But it's not. Okay.
Oh, go ahead. I'll let you go ahead before I say.
But it's not only that. I think it's also a big case of not having the skills to actually battle the enemies that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I can't stand environmental activists because
how dare
they're
you?
all yeah, no, I absolutely can't stand her, and I've forgotten her name now.
Greta.
Yeah, Greta
Oh,
Thunberg.
yeah,
I cannot stand Greta Thunberg. Not because I don't believe climate change is real or anything. I live in Australia, for Christ's sakes. We've known that. We've known the climate's been changing for the past 10 years. We just have to look at our bloody bushland being
burned.
roasted to well done.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you never see a lot of environmental activists come in with solutions. It's all problems. And there are actual conservationists and scientists and a whole lot of professionals that are researching and studying it and coming up with crazy cool stuff. And I'm fully on board with them. Don't get me wrong. It's just the activists. And 9 times out of 10, they're all coming out with the wrong answers to these problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they either have A, the intellect, or B, the will to learn, study, or find solutions. It's just easier to jump up and down and stroke their egos. At which point they should probably be arrested for public indecency. But
you do realize this speech will get you cancelled, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, what? Haven't you been watching all of the other shows?
They can't stop this. They can't.
If I'm being cancelled,
play that clip, and we'll at least keep the Raylos on our side. Like the
yeah. Raylos, we love you. Come here. We need you. This is your call.
But So if you're coming to cancel me over this, go back to primary school. You weren't paying attention.
Well, okay. So as for today's political climate, at least down here, people want to get offended and hurt each other for whatever reason. Though it seems like there's a lot more people that want to do that than there isn't. But hopefully, I'm wrong. I want to believe that there's more people that are willing to help others rather than hurt others. And a good example is actually something that happened to me today. I know. Look, I already told Sir AOA about it, and I'm not just trying to put this out here just so I can talk about it. But I almost didn't do the stream today because I've been pretty shaken up about almost getting in a car crash today. Which it wasn't me. As I was getting ready to turn in home, and some guy wasn't paying attention, and he didn't realize I was stopped there with my turn signal on. So I have to wait for a car to pass by before I can start turning in. So once that car passes by, the other guy apparently tried going around me. Now I'm going somewhere with this, so just bear with me. So the guy tried going around me, but at the same time, because I didn't realize he was doing this, I didn't hear brakes until the very last second. I started turning in. Okay, so as I'm turning, I didn't get far. I hear screeching sounds, and the guy flies past me. Like, I don't know how fast he was going. He was going pretty fast, and flies into a ditch. It's not a small one either. It's a huge one. It's really huge. Like, I did not see the vehicle after it went over. If that gives you any idea. Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you everything. So I was on the phone with my mom at the time, so I scared her to death. but I was pretty shaken up with that. I drive up a little bit to the road and pull off to the side, and then I run back to the guy, seeing what happened and all that stuff. And a couple, and this is where I was trying to get to. So there was people that like 4 or 5 different people that decided to pull off on the side of the road and help us out. And that's where I was going with this whole thing. Now the guy wasn't angry at me. He fully admitted to like not paying attention, all that stuff. He didn't get terribly hurt. I did offer to take him to the hospital, but he just wanted to go home, so I took him home for him. He only lives a little bit past where I do, actually. So he was bleeding from his nose, so he must have just hit his nose. He was driving an older vehicle, so it didn't have an airbag. It was like a Chevy, like an older Chevy, I think Silverado or something like that. It didn't have an airbag, so he must have hit his nose against the steering wheel when he went in, and I'd say he hit it pretty hard. But for the most part, he seemed like he was just dazed, so he didn't get like terribly hurt, which is good for him. But the people that came around to try to help out, that's what got me, and I was very amazed at that. And that's where I was going with this little tale, is because all these people, they could have just passed by, but they decided to come out and try to help out. There was 2 dudes on motorcycles that saw the whole thing. They stopped, and they came and got the guy out of the ditch. And I took the guy home, and then there was another lady and another dude that came by, and they wanted to see if they can do anything to help, which I think I don't think they had to do anything, but they did offer. So all this stuff, like, even though I was pretty shaken, the fact that all these people came around to try to help this one dude get out of the ditch, that is something I think that at the heart of Americans, that is something that we are, is just wanting to help each other. But we don't give off that vibe because we're always wondering, oh, is this guy black? Or is this guy white? Is this why he acts this way? Is this guy black? So should we arrest him? Like, come on. So,
like, you're gonna stop in the middle of the accident to ask him who you voted for.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. See, if people on the outside of this country that never lived here looked in just through what they see on, let's say, Twitter, or maybe even terrible YouTube videos of people talking only about race and gender and all that junk, they would think, oh, so if somebody was caught in a car crash and they were white, they could they could be like, did you vote for, let's say, Donald Trump, or did you vote for Joe Biden? If they say Trump, then oh, you're in a ditch? Sorry, I gotta go. See you later. Yeah, some people will probably get that idea because what they see doesn't, even though it doesn't normally represent the people of this country, they get to see a majority of it because the people that are pushing it are very influential. They're pushing all these ideas. They're pushing all these situations.
I wouldn't be surprised if a Twitter addict did actually sort of went, oh, what, you voted Republican, see ya. But that's Twitter addicts.
Yeah, exactly.
I think fortunately it's a weird phenomenon where people generally, it's interesting. For instance, like, I'm for instance not on Facebook much, but my parents and people in my parents' generation are. They're there all the time, and it's interesting.
That sounds a bit backwards.
It actually, I don't know. At least I've noticed. Like, so I'm a millennial, but it seems like Gen Xers and baby boomers seem to have taken over Facebook. But
you sure you are? You sound way more mature.
She's one of the good ones.
She is a good one.
Yeah.
That's actually the interesting thing. I am liking that now that we're getting more of these, kind of more visibility for the Gen Zs. I can now tell the Gen Xers and the baby boomers, like, hey, we millennials, we're not quite so terrible. Like, you'll appreciate us more down the line as we, see more of these generations, whatever they become. But anyways, what I found interesting is kind of just observing my, say for instance, my parents' interactions with people that they know in person, like they went to school with, or neighbors with or whatever, that those same people behave very differently online than they do in person.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they know the person, kind of behind the profile, these people who will go to school together can be really nasty to each other online, but then at the grocery store, it's a totally different deal. And I think Shade's right. I think generally, if you look past, Americans' social media profiles and Twitter exchanges, and I think, I live in, in a major East Coast city, and I can say that the Mid-Atlantic of the United States, especially in the cities, they're about it's about as mean and psychotic as you can get. It just is. It's sorry. I just, it was funny. A month or two ago, I went on a road trip out west, and so I kind of going from, DC to made it all the way out to South Dakota and Wyoming, and it was just kind of occurred to me people, people are so much more friendly and polite, just not where I live. But even then, despite that, I think people, for instance, where I live, are like that too. They're different. They're different creatures when you engage them online. But if you're just going to the grocery store or whatever, or if you're, it's, they'll help each other out if your car ends up in a ditch or something like that. So that is one thing to be hopeful about.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you don't see the kind of coming together anymore that, unless it's for one of those protests, which end up being more violent rather than peaceful. I don't know who has any opinions on that.
But hang on. The news says that they're all peaceful.
Look, that's one thing. Seeing burning cars and buildings that are being broken into with a bunch of looting and stuff happening, and maybe a couple dead store owners, even though they might be the same race as the ones they claim to be, for. That might say something different. But who am I?
Saying the news was lying to me?
Look, I'm
no.
a straight white male. I'm clearly lying to you, as everybody knows. Straight white men have to be, evil. They're all liars.
Liar.
So,
I actually wish, looking back, that I had taken pictures of what DC was like when I was back in 2019, when before all the craziness of 2020 and before COVID, when I was going to school there in person, just what it was like then, and now what it's like. It's perfectly in the daytime, and if there's no big thing happening there, it's perfectly safe, downtown, but it feels a little war zoney, unlike and it's just not, it's not the same. It's kind of recovering, but it's kind of it kind of feels like a carcass sometimes walking through it, with seeing either seeing stores just shut down or gone, or ones that will put up say the appropriate sign supporting the appropriate cause. It's kind of the it's like kind of the Passover, putting blood over the doorway so that they won't be met with disaster. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that.
It's kind of like that. So it's, it's like, yeah, things are fine. Things are fine and chill there, and I suspect this is the same thing with other, major cities in the States. But it's just it's not the same. It's not healthy. It's just
Mhm.
kind of this carcass. That's it.
No, I completely understand that. Actually, I feel that way about where I live, even though it's a smaller town. I've grown more to like want to leave it over the years rather than stay in it, and that's only that. Like, if you ask me, maybe let's say 4 years ago. If you asked me about 4 years ago, I probably would have said no. I'd rather not leave where I'm at. If you ask me now, I'll say, where do you want to go? I want to go. And the thing about it is, it's like this place hasn't exactly went crazy. It's actually been a lot more peaceful than a lot of these other places for sure. But the thing is about this place here is that I think it's slowly becoming that. It's very slowly, because people down this way have become more hateful over, especially over the COVID junk that happened. I can tell you stories about that, but we only have so long on the stream. I'm not going to go into that one. But I mean, you don't, especially now, like back then when I was younger, things were so much better down here. There wasn't as much trouble as there is. Like a guy got shot on the parkway just a couple of days ago, and I can't remember what, I don't remember if they said what it was about. I don't think they did, but it was basically two drivers, and I'm assuming one of them was either a terrible driver and the other guy shot him because of it. That's what I assume. Or the other guy was telling off the terrible driver and the terrible driver shot him. I don't know. That's only assumptions right there. But there's been more stuff like that going on down here as of like over the last couple of years. And not to mention all this cultural war stuff. It's slowly making its way down here. Like my sister tried to work at Starbucks down here, and they were trying to force her to be like them. They were about as liberal as you can get. Not saying anything about liberals. There's some good ones too, but
they're not liberals.
They were.
Yeah, they're not. That's what I would say too.
Yeah,
they're very illiberal.
Well, yeah, you're probably right. What I meant really by that is more like the Twitter mob. They were like the
regressives,
IRL versions of the Twitter mob. That's what I really meant. I'm not, like I told the story earlier. I'm still shaking from that, so I'm not thinking straight. Forgive me, but
no, don't worry.
There's a thing here about what you said. I mean, you talked about how the world sees you and that you regret that things are like that, and that people might think the U.S. is crazy and everything. And I don't think that's the case, because the thing is, the whole world is going through this right now. I mean, we gotta consider. I'm not going to go into conspiracy theory territory, but the truth about it is, some people around the world want us all to be angry and divided, because division is not inherently human. We are not prone to actually go and beat the guy beside us over nothing. That's not the basic principle behind it. I mean, we do terrible things when we are provoked or when we are motivated by hate or things, but it's not our natural state. And that's why these people push it so hard, because they need to really push it into these new generations so that it becomes normal. It's not normal to us for two reasons. One, because we grew up in a different time when this didn't happen. And two, because we are up, and I don't want to sound arrogant, but we are above the average way of thinking. This is why we are not on Twitter spouting stuff and everything, and we are here talking Star Wars and politics in a civil way, because we are not easily swayed by the rhetoric. But most people are. We are not a majority. So That's why it's easy for them to just push and push and push, and people will eventually believe everything they say and will go after whoever they say it's evil, because they are so anxious to be right. It's not even about heroics. They just want to be on the right side. It's like, oh yeah, these are the people that tell me who is evil. I'm with them. Just name it, and I'll kill whoever you want. But that's not the way things should work. I mean, we had that hundreds of years ago, and it didn't go well.
It's almost like someone. It's almost like someone tweeted out something like that, and oh, hang on, what were their name? And hang on, didn't they get fired from some show? I'm pretty sure they tweeted something like this that explained all of that.
Exactly.
Yes, pretty much. That's what she said.
Like I think it was Forbes. They said they inadvertently proved her point or proved her right. Either way, and you know what? These people that blame her for being a Nazi, basically, or comparing Republicans and Democrats in that way, saying the Democrats are the Nazis and the Republicans are the ones that are oppressed. Of course, she didn't mean it like that, but she was the whole meaning of that was that the government or the power, the people in power at the time were convincing the populace to turn against a certain people, and that's exactly what's going on. It doesn't matter what you claim to be. It just matters basically who you support for the most part. I mean, you can be like, oh, I support abortion and I support LGBT and also be a Republican, and because I agree with most of their values. See, that's the thing. Just because you support a certain group that the people in power don't like, that's whether you believe that you're more of a you believe in some of the values that the other side does. There's no middle ground. That you're either evil or you're good, which good is a point of view, as Palpatine would say, and it really is. And we can actually make a stream about that, good being a point of view, and we can talk about that whole thing. That actually sounds like a good little topic to talk about. We might do that next time. I'm excited. Okay, back to the point. I can't remember the point.
It's July now. You don't need to support LGBTQ community now.
True. June is over. June is over. The craziest month, honestly, was June for me. Not going into why. So the thing is, the point I was making is that they proved her point, and the point was it's not about Republicans versus Democrats exactly. It's about people supporting a certain thing. So if you don't support this or that, even though you claim to be this or that, then you're evil. I mean, just look at Scott Cawthon. If you all know that situation, I did talk about it a little bit.
Yep.
He never once said anything about the LGBTQ, but because he supported a certain group, they canceled him, which he did not apologize. You got to give him props for that, because most famous people in power or that have some sort of influence, is what I mean, they usually end up apologizing and being like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know what? We should stop this. We should be like all for this kind of thing or that kind of thing. So that's the problem. If you don't apologize, then they will come at you even harder. And that's why a lot of them cave into it. But it's very respectable to see somebody, or it's refreshing to see somebody that does it.
Quick question. Didn't he also send money to Tulsi Gabbard?
I think so. I think I can't remember everything on that, but I know that
I'm pretty sure the guy, funded, sent money to Trump and all that. But from memory, I think he also sent money to Tulsi Gabbard. Mm-hmm. And yeah, if you're going to be calling her a conservative, I would strongly suggest going back to primary school's probably too advanced for you. Go back to kindergarten.
That's what's so ridiculous about this. I'll try to keep it brief, but it's like we've gotten to the point where Tulsi Gabbard is a Republican. Like, there are people, you can find them on Twitter who will say that she is basically a Republican, which is hilarious. And like it's to the point where it's like, if you don't like in American politics, if you don't agree with this specific package of kind of the corporate Democrat set of beliefs and policies, then you're a Republican. And there's nothing being wrong with being either. But it's just the fact that it's like people are, it's like you can only partake of this one set package of beliefs or this other set package of beliefs. You can't pick and choose, even if you feel like you could pick and choose and put together something that's much more cohesive than, say, any individual party has put together. But yeah. It's like if you disagree with one element of that package from that in-group, then you're an extremist. Like,
well, yeah. Well, I mean, the main reason is because when you're talking about regressives, you're talking about the authoritative left. If you've ever seen The Political Compass, even though I kind of agree with one of our political commentators down here that The Political Compass is absolutely bunk. But all the people that we're sort of mainly talking about, you will find in the authoritative left, because that's where communism lives. But I mean, the thing is that if you really want to see how crazy everything is, if I was to describe Tulsi Gabbard in Australian political terms, I would say that she would, if she was an Australian politician, she would be in the Australian Labor Party. The Australian Labor Party is our left-wing political party. But the thing is that they're more in the left-wing libertarian side. So the fact that people are going, no, she's right-wing, it's like, no, she isn't. She's just not insane.
She's also one of the few remaining. So I grew up. I was born in the early '90s. I grew up. I remember the full Bush presidency. I remember there was a time when the Democrats were supposedly the anti-war party. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away during the Bush era.
Stop saying long time ago.
It feels like
making me feel old.
But yeah, I remember when that was, and that was the big thing that was talked about, during the second Bush election, was just it was the Democrats were the anti-war party, and that changed, and I just,
and now the Republicans are the anti-war party.
Yeah, and so it's like, I know, at the time, it was like with Tulsi Gabbard, it's like, oh, she's like a unicorn, basically, very rare. There used to be a number of ostensibly anti-war Democrats, but once you got into the Obama administration, that was gone. So it's just fascinating how the parties evolve, and it doesn't seem that it's ideologically based. It's just they're making calculations of, what positions does this evil candidate hold? Well, we will just hold the opposite positions just because. And it's all reactionary.
Yet again, it comes back to they don't have the intellect to do this argument, so go with the emotion.
Liar!
I wasn't calling you a liar exactly, but he put a lot of emotion into that. So
They've fallen to the dark side because they've given in to their emotion. Perfect timing.
Okay, so we spent a lot longer than I thought we would on that, but I'm glad we sort of talked about that because I mean that's something that really needs to be talked about a little bit. At least with some sensible people, because some other people, like, I don't know if you guys seen it, and I'm only going to briefly mention this real quick, but I sort of, did I retweet it or no? I put it in the Discord. That's what I did. There's this dude that let me find it here and I'll explain it. Okay, so
Oh yes,
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Okay,
yes.
so
I've actually like I can't remember if I've run into him or I've just seen him around, and yeah, he has some really dumb takes.
yeah, he wouldn't even answer back after I had put out those 3 replies. So
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
Do you want me to share?
yeah, go ahead.
So
Go ahead and
so
put
the
that on
audience
there.
can see.
Yeah, so I want everybody to see what I show the first tweet that I made. After this, we'll go to
I've
that next
only got the pictures that you've put up in.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, just do that. Just put that on there. Maybe zoom it in if you can. I don't know if you can do that. You might be able to.
Yeah, hang on a second. Okay. Hang on a second. You might want to stop sharing.
Might want to stop sharing. Okay. There you go.
Oh, you're kidding me.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and sort of explain a little bit of this, but I put out a tweet saying "never forget," and it was showing Gina Carano and her firing and stuff like that, And this random guy comes up and tries to be smart aleck, and he says, "Never forget that they did the right thing and should have done it sooner." And I said, "You're wrong, but that's the beauty of free speech." And then I put the Batman face palming gif because I love putting gifs in everything I do about it. So after that, he makes a dumb tweet, a very dumb one. I don't have the whole thing there. Here.
Hang on a second. Just give me 5 more seconds. Oh, God.
Okay.
Sounds like he already made a dumb tweet.
Okay.
He did.
Sharing. Give me a second. Sharing.
He did make a dumb tweet, but I guess he didn't see it that way. I'll read off everything that I said. I can't even remember the point I was going to make with this, but I think it has something to do with what I was saying in these tweets here.
Hang on. 5 seconds.
5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Liar!
It's there.
No, it's not. Yeah, it is. I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So you might have okay. So that's most of the tweet. There's like a little bit of it cut off because that was the first screenshot, and for some reason it wouldn't let me go all the way down. I was trying to screenshot like the whole conversation, but I'll read what is left. But he said it's not wrong. Gina Carano decided dangerous and dishonest. I don't curse. So she decided to be dangerous and dishonest with her. It's okay. I'm good. Basically.
Oh, sorry. Do I need to speak Australian?
No, it's okay. It's okay. So she decided to do dangerous and dishonest posting. She figured that was more important than the fans, which I think is stupid, and Star Wars. She made her choice, and it wasn't us, which isn't true. So they made the right choice in not bringing her back for other projects. Ungrateful considering the opportunity. Now, this is what I find funny. See, oh yeah, there's the whole tweet right there. So the funny thing is, he absolutely would not answer back to anybody's tweets. Anybody's. So I was thinking maybe he'd block me, which, was odd because he didn't. But I went on like I made a small, well, I guess big for Twitter because for some reason, oh, she disappeared. Well, she'll be back, I'd say. Okay, so I try to make like some sort of explanation within 3 tweets because you can only have so much within a tweet, which is sort of annoying. But
you want the explanation?
Explanation? Go ahead, give it to me.
No.
Oh yeah,
are you talking about those 3?
Yeah, those 3. That was my explanation to why he was wrong. But I did say, so let's say you're right, because I like to in school. I'm going to make a quick. I'm going to talk about this really quickly. So in school, they taught back in high school anyway. They sort of taught us how to argue properly, and that's just putting it mildly and shortly. So basically, you need to be sure to acknowledge your opponent, which is always a good thing, and maybe even look at their side. So I said, so let's say you're right. Then the majority of Twitter, including celebrities like Pedro Pascal, should be held to the same standard. Because, and then some other people put tweets of what other people have done that's in the Star Wars, like, or in Lucasfilm that have made similar tweets when it comes to historical tweets like that. And he's never answered back. I think the point I was trying to make is once you point out the facts and they don't have anything to make a rebuttal with, they just either block you or they don't answer back. And I mean,
or they go ad hominem.
Huh?
Or they go ad hominem.
Yeah. But
they don't want a conversation. They just want to convince you that they are right and you are not. That's their whole thing.
Yeah.
They want it. They want to stroke their egos until they get to that explosive point.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't remember the point I was going to make with this, but it was I was trying to relate it to whatever it was that we were talking about just then. But my brain is like scrambled eggs right now. I don't know what's going on.
Understandably.
But that's the craziness on Twitter that I hate the most. These people don't understand anything. They're being taught this stuff through the media, and they're just spouting it out. See, the thing is, the one thing I've noticed, and this is the last thing I'm going to say before we move on to the Bad Batch. But whenever now you can read the tweet for yourself too. Whenever you bring up Gina Carano and they say it's a good thing that they got rid of her, and you ask them why, they all have like the script that they type from, and they put these key things in, like talking about dangerous and dishonest. Huh?
You're cutting off.
Oh, I'm cutting off. When did I cut off?
It might just be Chrono because you were fine with me.
Oh, okay. Am I still cutting out, Chrono?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
You sound good to me too.
Oh, okay. It might just be it might just be Chrono. Hopefully that's all it is. But then again, I feel bad for Chrono because you don't get to hear my luscious voice. Anyway,
technology. Don't you love it when it works?
Yes. Oh, I got a story, but I'll tell you guys about that after the stream. This is something I got to tell you guys, but this will be after the stream. And it refers to the technology thing. Okay, so small thing that I was going to say, they have like this script that they read from, that they type out all their key points they have to make in the in the tweets or whatever complaint, however they make their complaints known. They all have the same exact argument. None of them have anything unique or creative or even factual for the most part to argue back with. So when they block you because they don't want to deal with you, they act like they're being the bigger person or like, oh, this person wasn't worth my time. Well, it's because they didn't have any reason to fight anymore because they were, done. They know they were wrong, or they are so blinded by their arrogance that they can't be wrong even when the facts are presented.
They stroked their egos enough that they're sated and they need to clean up.
Yeah. So I guess you could put it that way, but yes. And that's the problem, and that's how you know a person is, well, for the most part. It doesn't always mean
intellectually deficient.
Wrong, but well, yeah. But that's usually how you tell that they have no argument. That's why when I argue, I try to look at all sides of it and use all sides of it to strengthen my argument, as opposed to sticking to a script that has no other, options for you to read from. It's just all there,
The main reason is because they go into the argument with, I am right. And I think you and I, and probably everyone else in the stream, go in with the thought process, I could be wrong, but
there's evidence to support our claims.
Sorry, say that again.
I said, you said we could be wrong, but, and I finished off by saying we do have evidence to support our claims.
Oh yeah. But no, I normally just leave it as that one that sentence. I could be wrong, but, and then go into the argument.
Yeah.
So the thing is that when you go in with that mindset, you have to take into consideration their argument.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of go, now, is this right or is this wrong? You filter through their argument and then filter through all the evidence that they show, which is generally zero, so you just have to filter through their argument. But yeah. With this mindset, you kind of need to put yourself into their shoes so you can see it from their point of view. Because the thing is that if you don't, you might go into the argument with false viewpoints.
Yeah.
At which point you could end up being incorrect. But that's not something they do. They just run in with the, I'm right, and I'm just here to score the points that being right gets me. So after we're done, I can be alone with myself and enjoy myself. And that's the entire viewpoint of why they're doing what they're doing.
Just saying. Okay.
They probably use that image just to help them along. Seriously.
That needs to be the thumbnail for all of your videos.
Well, you know what? I might make it the thumbnail for this one's.
No, it just needs to be the banner. It just needs to be the banner of your channel.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
And underneath it, you can just sort of I don't know, Empire fans helping along material.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Yes,
Let's
please.
just throw that out. Okay. We're done. The political stuff, we stayed on that for a while. Honestly, I didn't expect that, but I'm not disappointed. So
It probably needs its own stream, seriously.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's a good idea. I
All
think
of
that's a
this
good
from
idea.
Lego Slave 1. Like,
Oh God. Well, I figured that would only take about 30 minutes. That took way longer.
Oh, come on. I mean, when has this section that's meant to be, 20 minutes ever been 20 minutes?
True. Well, like I've said before, I'm terrible with time management. So, yeah. So,
It's got nothing to do with time management. It's just that there is just so much muck to
well, yeah.
dredge
True.
through that,
True.
of course, it's going to take us an hour and 20 minutes to get just a little bit into it.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Thank you, Lego. You just robbed us of 1 hour and 20 minutes of our lives.
I'm sorry. Okay. So, to not rob you of more time, because I did title this the Bad Batch discussion.
No, not you. Lego did.
Oh, Lego did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they did rob us, didn't they? Because they made us talk about this. Let's blame them. Let's blame them and Disney.
Yeah, I
So-
was just about to say Disney needs some love.
Yeah, we need to give Disney some heat on that too, because they're overall in charge of everything Star Wars. Even if they're over Lucasfilm too, so I mean they have to be over it. Anyway, off of politics, because I think that actually should be saved for a separate stream. That's a good idea. I might work on that. But we're finally going to talk about the Bad Batch, and I'm sorry for anybody that watches this that expected Bad Batch at the very beginning. This was not planned to go on like this. We were planning on doing this like almost as soon as we started. But we're going to go ahead and talk about the Bad Batch. And I just want everybody's opinion first thing on how good these two episodes are. So just give me one word answer. We're going to start from the bottom this time. Chrono, go ahead, give me a one word answer on what you thought.
On the 2 episodes?
On both of them, just like collectively, what do you think about them? Well, actually, give me one word for each of them, because you might have liked one better than the other. If you use one word to describe them both, then, just go ahead and give me one for each.
Okay, one word for the one last week was unexpected.
Okay.
And the word for the second one would be nice but slow.
Okay, that works. Okay, what about you, Commander Tano?
see.
I'll let you guys explain later, but I just wanted to get like this part over with real quick. Go ahead. Sorry.
See, I like the ones that Chrono picked, but I don't want to steal them. So,
How about unsuspected? Mm-hmm. You didn't
Aye.
suspect to do that. Uh-huh. Yeah.
there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think also with this one, I think also I like the kind of pleasant but slow thing. There is something I really liked about, even though I think you could find a number of people who'd say like that this past episode was a filler episode. I'm trying to think of a word where it's like quote filler, but there's something there's something like really important, significant about character development that happened that I liked. But yeah, I can't do one word things. I give up.
It's okay. I think I was asking too much to do one word anyway, because on this, it's a little hard to just use one word, I guess. So I would say what you're looking for is just slow, but also very good for character development. So wait. It might be Soraya. It might be. I don't know. I'd have to hear it, but I'm not so sure I want to. Oh, God. Wait a minute. I got to read that again. What? Okay, no, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to say yes, but maybe you could tell me about it later.
No. It's just that line is what I think of the past 2 episodes. And I am planning on saying that line. I'm not adding anything or taking away, or that's going to be the sentence, but
I get it. Okay.
So should I say it?
I mean, up to you.
Okay. Pretty much my. I know you said one word, but it seems like a small sentence.
Yes. Sentence.
If I was going to describe the past 2 episodes, I would probably say male chicken tease.
That's a weird way to put that. But
well, I can go for the proper version.
No. Okay, we're good. We're good. Nothing to see here,
Cool.
guys. Goodbye. See you later. No. No, we're okay.
No,
so,
but I mean that was probably the best way I can sort of describe it.
I get you.
Yeah, because well, I'll go into more depth.
Okay, so I'm not going to do the one word thing either because I mean, Chrono knocked it out of the park when he did it. I think he described it to a T, and we couldn't outdo that. So, Chrono, you are the winner of this. If this were a contest to see who can come up with the best one word descriptions for these 2 episodes, you have won that, and you get your very own Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Good job.
So you two are gonna have to step it up now because I don't think I've ever given either of you that yet. Chrono's the only one that's won that.
You've given me that a couple of times.
I have. Okay, I can't remember everything.
Big surprise.
What was that supposed to mean, huh?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Okay, so on to the actual descriptions. Wait, no, I didn't even give mine. So what I thought was I really enjoyed the first one because I love Cad Bane. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was awesome. And it left me thinking more about what they plan to do with Cad Bane. And I'll talk more about that later. But let's just say I really enjoyed that one. It, I think, took sort of a slower turn because it wasn't like all, action like the last one was, where they were constantly being chased by Crosshair. But I liked it. So, yeah, I will. I'll remember it. And for the other one, I think I liked it a little bit better, but only because I like seeing the clones deal with having to help a separatist. And Echo was the only one that really protested a lot about it, but I like the fact that they were able to put that aside and
see the common ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So honestly, that's what I think about it. That's the short version, and I'll let you all explain everything that you guys liked about it. And we'll talk about the first one with Cad Bane and Fennec. That whole thing. First, we're doing that episode first, and then after we do our thing, you'll find out later. We'll do the next one. So, to start off, since I did start from the end last time, I'm going to start from the middle and go down, and which will be Commander Tano. Tell us what you thought, like in depth, like what you think about that episode.
Of episode 9.
So you mean, do you mean the one? I've lost track of the numbers. So you mean the one with Cad Bane?
Cad
or the most
Bane
recent
and
one?
Fennec. Not
Okay,
not
yeah.
the most recent.
Got it. Yeah, I loved that episode. I I'm really there was yeah it was I don't know where to begin with that. It was just there there was a lot of good action in that episode. It was also just like rest in peace, Tonwi.
Yes, I know. That,
that
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 actually
was
hurt a little.
that that was I didn't see that happening.
Me neither.
But I'm I'm really I was really pleased that with what they're doing with Fennec's character. I thought that all that they were going to do mainly with Fennec is just have her be this kind of menacing bounty hunter that they've got to avoid or deal with. But kind of when she, you know, when it was revealed that she was working for Nala Se and she's like, Omega, I'm trying to help you, and that whole exchange, that was really interesting. And I'm also really I've said this before, but I'm really intrigued because I remember how Nala Se was in the Clone Wars Order 66 arc, and she was rather callous.
Hmm.
And so I'm curious. It's like I kind of want to know like what happened between then and now. I guess it just somehow she just kind of imprinted on this one clone and decided that's going to be my child, and she just kind of because it was just interesting, even just and the animation is so good, like when Lama Su is like okay, when you've gotten the genetic material from Omega, Terminator, and you see just the look in her eyes, like the kind of shocked and all of that. I really enjoyed seeing all of that. I definitely want to learn a little bit more about her now and kind of how she got emotionally to the place she is with Omega. What else? I I liked too. It was interesting that the Kaminoans had other facilities, and it was kind of weird to see just kind of a Kaminoan city, if you will, but there's no water. It's just kind of dust and smoke, and it was a really cool set that they had all these chase scenes on.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was really intrigued by that, and I was surprised that they got her back. That what I was really surprised about was overall that they got Omega back so quickly. I was thinking when Bane took Omega that we were going to have to go through several episodes until they got her back, and so and I thought this was going to be the big thing, that they'd have to deal with for the rest of the season. And once again, I'm kind of going off of like my Mandalorian expectations.
Hmm.
But no, it's like no, they got her back pretty quickly, and now of course Hunter's promised Omega that she's not going back to Kamino, and it's like no, don't promise that. Please don't make that promise, because you were guaranteeing that she's going back to Kamino, like that's going to happen. So yeah, I'm curious. And maybe this series will subvert our expectations again. Maybe she truly won't ever go back to Kamino. Maybe that I'm so jaded at this point that if I hear a promise like that made, it's like I know where that's going.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm curious what you all think.
It smells like plot.
Yes, I'm curious what you all think about, what your predictions will be about where the plot's going to go from here, given those assurances given. But those are my 2 cents.
Okay. So using my mystical powers of telling the future. Actually, I won't. Like I said last time, I'd ruin it for everybody. So I won't do that. I'll go ahead and let Chrono talk about his thoughts on it. On the first episode, not the first, you know what I mean. The one
Bounty Lost, episode 9.
Yes, that one. that one.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Okay, about the promise thing, to quote Cortana, don't make a girl a promise you know you can't keep.
Yes. Oh, that's true.
That's what I was thinking when he said that. I was thinking about it when he said it because I was like, yeah, are you sure you can tell her that? I mean, she's smart enough to know it's not possible. She even tells him. But yeah, promise aside, Cat Bane was awesome. I do feel like they gave Fennec a little bit of plot armor, because I don't doubt Fennec's skills, but Cat Bane really is on another level for her, and I feel like he should have killed her like 2 or 3 times during the fight.
That's sort of.
But I understand where they're going with it. I mean, we know she can't die right now.
That's true.
What I do
But
like,
yeah,
and
it was a good fight. It didn't feel like. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was just saying, I do agree. Like she has to have plot armor, obviously, given where she, where we know she ends up in the canon or whatever. But I do like that they did give her a run for her money. Like she kept getting hit so hard, and it was like I remember towards the end of the fight it was kind of more staggering. I think she more quote beat him in the sense that it was more like a hit and run sort of deal with her. I think if she stuck around and kept trying to do all this hand-to-hand combat with him, I think, is clear that he would obviously win. Is more of kind of her getting out at the right time, almost. But yeah, I get what you mean, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they played like she had a chance basically because he was more interested in rushing back to get Omega. That's kind of what they do. So yeah, it was a good fight. I really liked it. I like how he used different tricks on her. It wasn't just blasters. The hand-on-hand combat was really good. I also like how Omega managed to do stuff on her own, but she didn't Mary Sue the whole thing. I mean, whoever is saying that she's a Mary Sue and everything, this episode clearly shows she isn't, because she did work with what she had, but it wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm gonna easily get out of this alone. She didn't. She was really struggling with everything. The droid move was clever on her, and it's something anyone could have done. The fact that she can handle the communications array and everything, it makes sense because she grew up on Camino. So yeah, I really like the episode. I do think it was a little bit fast, like you said. Like they only took an episode and got her back. I would have expected a bit of maybe 2 or 3 episodes, not more. But I think it was okay. It really did what it was set to do.
That's I felt the same way about how fast that was. I sort of wanted it to go on. But
yeah,
we're
maybe.
going to go ahead and go on to Sir. Wait, what were you saying?
No, yeah, I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. So, Sir AOA, what about you? Give me your thoughts in detail.
It was such a tease. That's probably the best way I could sort of describe that episode, because it was sort of like, oh, great, the plot's finally happening. Oh, wait, no, it's not.
It slightly moved the plot forward.
It did, and it's not like it's not like the plot has ever not been moving forward. But there's just still, it still kind of feels like we're in the setup phase, not in the we're finally getting started type situation. But yeah, no, I really sort of did like the setting because it was kind of cool to see the I guess you could say Kaminoan bodies in the
I mean,
that in
I was
the
assuming
whatever
that.
it was. And it was it was kind of cool sort of seeing a different a different sort of side, a Kaminoan city that isn't surrounded by water. But it is kind of annoying because you're kind of sitting there going, actually, I kind of want to find a little bit more about that. Why are they leaving? Go back.
Yep.
I want to know more.
Yeah.
True.
World building.
Yeah. So hopefully, maybe we can tell. I've mispronounced the word now, and I can't remember how to pronounce it. Maybe we can send signals to Dave Filoni, sort of tell us more about the Kaminoan city. Tell us more. Tell us more. Damn it! I forgot about that. I said the cursed words.
Yes, you did, and you paid the price.
Not
Not only that, you said it like 3 times.
No.
I was wondering if you were going to catch yourself.
I guess you really wanted more.
I love it. I love it. I love that clip.
Really? We never would have guessed.
Liar!
Still trying to wonder if that was actually the appropriate scene. Oh.
What were you suggesting, huh?
I don't know. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Don't have one that sort of comes to my head. But yeah,
I
so
do.
Okay.
Which one? Tell me.
You know which one it is.
I know, but I gotta hear it, It's sort of a trigger. You know what I mean? It's a trigger word.
It's the token scene that we play so that at least the Raylos don't cancel us.
Okay. There you go. There you go. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry for the interruption. Continue.
So, it's a bit of a do it. So, it's an episode that has a bit of do it. Are you quite right, sir? I'm trying to speak, and you are interrupting me with everything. Do it. I'm trying. Do it.
Okay.
Quick, take him away from the buttons. Cut off his hands.
Oh no, that would be bad. Then you wouldn't get any of this right here. And that would be bad because the Raylos will come after us if we don't. Just saying. Now,
it's really funny. We're making the Raylos sound like flying monkeys. Get them, my pretties.
Gosh, he goes into witch mode after I drive him crazy. I think I brought this on myself.
Because you have driven me crazy.
This is where the fun begins.
Okay. But seriously,
But yeah,
you can go.
it is sort of one of those cases of it does seem to have been a little bit too quick, but it is also kind of why they've done it, and I think it's probably because we're so used to having shows that are so compact and so condensed that I think we kind of needing to get back into the swing of things being this slow and set out. But the thing is that you do kind of we are kind of being filled up with all this world building that hopefully we can see it more.
Continue.
5 seconds of goddamn lapse of concentration and that cursed word.
I love that word. I love that
You were
word.
saying world
So-
building, and hopefully we'll see something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start from that exact point. What? See what? Huh?
Hopefully we'll see other places of that world building in other shows.
Okay.
And I'm looking
You mean more?
forward.
Thank you, Chrono. I give you another.
Good job.
That's not good. That's not a good job.
What are you talking about? He asked for.
A good job is dancing around that cursed word, jumping in and just slamming it on the table isn't a good job.
Well, the thing is, though, I enjoy it, so he gives me joy by saying the word. Okay. Just deal with it.
So yeah, would like to
I still
would
haven't gotten
probably
a
like
good
to-
job.
I'll
probably
give you one. I'll
like
give you one. I promise.
would probably like the plot to sort of speed up a little bit, but having all this world building does kind of sort of make it feel more at home in sort of the Star Wars universe.
I'm telling you.
Take-
You know what? I'm giving you a good job for saying it so much.
Good job.
Goodness.
Ah,
I mean, you usually dance around it pretty good, but today you're slacking. You're slacking.
yeah, I know.
Yep.
That's because you keep playing the Raylo clip.
Yeah. You mean that one?
You're distracting him.
Okay. Go ahead and continue if you had anything else to say.
No, that was it.
That was it? You didn't have anything more to say?
No,
Are you sure that you don't want more?
I'm very sure I don't want more.
Okay, I played it so many times. I'll give that a pass this time around. Okay, I think it's time for the PSA though. So if you don't mind, Sir AOA, go ahead. Since we're getting ready to talk about the next episode.
Yes.
Well, hold on, real
Yes.
quick. Anybody have anything else to say about this before we move on? Because once we're moved on, we're done.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, all right, go ahead now.
A short PSA for the Force Collective, brought to you by me, Sir AOA. If you see a child in a seedy bar playing a game for money, be like Admiral Akbar and realize it's a trap. Children shouldn't be at bars. They should be at home playing with Imperial toys. Celebrate the heroes of the Empire. Back to you, Shay.
Thank you very much. Nice PSA. But honestly, the direction I thought you were going to go when you see a child in a bar, my immediate thought was this: that kid
Yes.
shouldn't be in the bar.
But
You gotta take 'em out.
that wasn't a seedy bar. That was a Jedi temple.
How do you know there isn't a bar in the Jedi Temple, huh?
Well, they could be a bar, but it wouldn't be a seedy bar.
You don't know that. There could be some Jedi that have questionable backgrounds and stuff, you know? They could,
But then
they could
they,
be like
but
Pong
then they
Krell.
wouldn't be Jedi.
They could be like Pong Krell. Be a Jedi, but not be a Jedi at the same time. I think
And that's what happens when you want more.
What? Did you just say it? Did you? Huh? Did you? Well, too bad, because I was going to play it either way because I thought you said it. So, anyways, now this time we're going to start and go in the complete opposite order that we did last time. So, Sir AOA is going to start talking about the newest episode that came out earlier this morning. So, or for me, it's earlier this morning. For you,
me, it
it's
was
probably
last
late
night.
last night. So, yeah, go ahead and talk about that real quick. Tell us what you think.
I liked the title, and I like how they implemented that into the episode. The fact that the Bad Batch went and saved a
Separatist.
that's it.
Yeah.
The fact that they went and saved a separatist and they kind of sort of came to a common ground.
That's my common ground. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it really did put a good emphasis, and it's something that the defenders of the Empire should watch and watch multiple times.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the defenders of the Galactic Empire. I'm talking about the defenders of the Disney Empire. Well, sorry, the Kathleen Kennedy Empire, because Disney's more sort of with the Republic.
Let her go.
Yes. Let the witch go.
Yes. Throw her out.
But yeah, no. Funny enough, for an episode that doesn't really seem to be pushing the plot forward, I guess we won't know until the next episode. It really sent I guess you could say set up a lot of good things.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, this goes out for everyone that wants to put messages in their media. This is how you actually do it without bloody making it propaganda, you morons. This is the type of writing. I've got no idea how that relates.
That's showing how that's the type of writing, we're showing the superiority of that kind of writing with this. So
Yeah, okay.
go ahead.
But yeah, no. But I mean, the thing is that this is a textbook example of putting a. I don't want to say putting a message into your story, but I really can't think of better words for it. But this is a way of putting in. This is the correct way of putting in messages into the story. No one is sort of seen as an enemy. It's not shoved down your throat. It's just sort of at the end, you see the morals that they're trying to show off, without you gagging on what they're trying to shove down your throat. So yeah,
Continue.
pretty much when it comes to, episode writing, if you're a university professor, grab this episode, show it 20 times.
That's what they'll do. Sorry.
But I mean, grab this episode, show it as many times as you can, because this absolutely sort of is brilliant writing in getting a message across without it feeling like it's being shoved down your throat. And if you are paying attention, you will pick this up.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you are drunk off your ass, you might not, or have a Twitter blue check mark, you might miss it.
That's true.
But
Very
yeah, no,
true.
it was probably, I probably wouldn't say it's like the best episode, but it was definitely one of the most well-written episodes. Actually, thinking about it, it's probably the best episode so far for me.
Oh, I really enjoyed it too, to be honest. Like, even though it was a slower one. I'm not going to talk about it just yet, though. Go ahead, Chrono. It's your turn. We're going in the opposite order that we did on the last one. So go ahead, Chrono.
Okay. Yeah, I did enjoy the episode. When I said it was low, I didn't mean that I didn't like it. I did, but the thing is, like Sir AOA said, it feels like something is happening, and then this happens and goes in a completely opposite direction. And it's like, wait, I wanted to see more of the other thing.
You asked for it.
The minute you picked that word, I've sort of gone, yeah, he's targeting that.
Actually, my mouse was on that waiting for it. I had a feeling. I told you, I've got like prediction powers. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, those are natural powers kicking in.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think it was a good episode. I mean, the whole thing about Republic soldiers trying to rescue a separatist leader. Yeah, it does bring up an interesting conversation. It makes sense that Echo was the one who had the biggest problem with it, because he was the one to suffer at the hands of the separatists. The other guys were just fighting them.
That's true.
Also, I really liked the Omega part of this episode when Sid inadvertently helps her figure out what she's worth, despite not being a trained soldier. She's like, "Oh, you're a strategist. Well, let's go this way. Let's do things this way." And it was very nice that the episode ended with Hunter acknowledging her skill and telling her, "You know what? We're gonna see how good you are, and you're gonna help us." Because it's part of that the dynamic she has with all of them, where she's like their little sister, and they do want to protect her, but she's like, yeah, I'm one of you. I want to be there. I want to be on the field. And it's also reflected when he tries to give a command, considering her in the team. And it's very funny how Tech says, well, that's impossible. She's not here. And he's like, oh, yeah, she isn't.
That's true. I thought
that
was pretty cool. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a great scene because it shows how much they have connected, and while they all want to protect her, they really want her to be with them. So yeah, it's like they really think of her as part of the team, part of the unit.
And they also know that she's being targeted specifically, so to take
Yeah.
her where the Empire is would also be problematic, which is why he did that. But at the same time, it seems like
Yeah,
he didn't
it's risky
realize he did it.
to take her on missions. Yes, it's absolutely understandable that Hunter doesn't want to take her on missions because, they don't really know. He says there are 2 bounty hunters. No, there's really one, but they don't know that. They have to consider Fennec should be out after her.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably will if the Kaminoans change their mind. And I mean, maybe at some point she says, "No, I want you to bring her to me." It could happen, and they don't know. They're really scared about what they want from her because they don't know if they might hurt her.
Yeah, and which Lama Su plans on having her eliminated right afterward, which I think is stupid. I don't like Lama Su.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
no one
I
does.
gotta be. It does play a little bit weird that he is so cold. Because it's just sort of like, they're the preeminent cloners, so it's not like it's a big case of, well, after we've have no use for her, she might be taken to someone else, and it's just like, who else is doing this? So it does seem a little bit weird, and it does seem a bit sort of
I've got some
written-
thoughts on that, but yeah, it is a little weird.
Mhm.
it just seems to be written to up the stakes, which
Yeah.
just doesn't sound right. Because I mean, the thing is that she's been shown to be highly intelligent, so wouldn't it be better to sort of, I guess, have her on staff?
Yeah,
Actually, no. Well, I could
Ooh.
see that point, but the other thing to consider, in addition to Lama Su may have this petty thing where it's like, well, we'll get her DNA and then we'll dispose of her because we really, even though we're the best, we don't want anyone else or the Empire to have this. But I think the other thing is it's clear that just her being around Nala Se and her work, that Omega knows a whole lot about how the Kaminoans do what they do. And maybe there's information she knows that they just don't want her to pass along to the Empire or anyone else. But yeah, it seems some of it is just kind of just petty what he's doing with the just dispose of her when we're done with her.
Oh, I don't think it's so much petty as in sort of, we need to have a bad guy.
well, his actions are petty.
Bad guy
but
reasons.
that's probably the writing for it to make him the bad guy anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bit of both. Go ahead if you have anything else to say, Chrono.
Yeah, more than a bad guy, he's supposed to be this greedy person who thinks about the profit they can make. It's not really that he's out to hurt her. It's just that he considers her property. That's the theme.
I wouldn't say it's based on greed. You've just got to remember that, what do the Kaminoans export? Let's see their export list. Clones. Oh, that's right. They also export clones. So
Would you say they export more
him
clones?
being the leader of his people. Well, of course you're going to be, concerned about you having no work producing clones when the only thing your people export are clones. So I don't think it's so much greed. I think it's just sort of a case of, we've only got one product, so we better protect our only income stream. But the thing is that you don't need to be as heartless as he is coming off, especially if you can put her to work creating better clones.
Good point.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Got anything else to say, Chrono, before we move on?
No, I think that's it. The episode had really interesting takes, and the action was really good. So for a slow episode, it had a lot of action and very good one.
I agree. So we'll go ahead and move on to Commander Tano then, if that's all. But one thing I want to say before that is that Walker fight scene, like where they were being chased by other walkers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it. It was fun.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, so I agree with that. That was a really fun scene, and I agree with both Sir AOA and Chrono about kind of your general observations about this episode and kind of how it's fitting in with the series as a whole. I think so. Some specific things that I really liked, like number one, I'm liking Sid more and more, and I'm also liking. It's clear from the exchanges between Sid and Omega, and to some extent also between Hunter and Omega and so forth, that they've definitely been listening to fan feedback, at least in terms of Ray and the Mary suing and all of that, and kind of the dearth of training. And what I really love is that it's like with this show and how the Bad Batch and how Sid and how they treat Omega, it's not that they've definitely been affirming her and kind of making a place for her on the team, but at the same point they're not coddling her. And I really liked, like when the times when Sid, both in this episode and ones prior, said, like when Omega was trying to learn how to use her bow, and Sid's like, well, you've got these little tiny arms, like you can't do this as well because you're just a little child. I like that, or I like, in this episode where Sid was basically saying, yeah, you are kind of helpless, if you want them to have you around, then you can't be helpless. And I think there are some people who'd be like, no, that's horrible. You need to tell Omega that she can do whatever she wants if she puts her, if she just believes in herself or whatever. But I like that they've not taken that approach, and it's been, no, Omega's got to find some way, within reason, that she can be an asset to the rest of the members of the team, and she seems to be finding that in her own way. But she's found a way to be useful that's realistic. It's not like that all of a sudden she can now, like, pick up
sniper rifle and be as good as Crosshair.
A sniper rifle, or like just kind of be weightlifting with a gonk droid like Wrecker. I like that. I like that they're giving her abilities that work for her and who she is. That's nothing unrealistic. And yeah, because I feel like if this were written by the people who did Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi, or whatever, then it would just, then Omega would instantly have all these powers that we wouldn't have kind of there wouldn't be any justification for. So I really like that that these people who are all mentoring her they're helping her, but they're helping her because they're telling her the truth. she's a small child who doesn't have, and so understandably she's going to have a very limited abilities and skill set, and she just has to she has to earn her, she has to kind of earn her way onto the team. And I like, even at the very ending scene where you have her and Hunter playing the game, it isn't that Hunter says, like, he's like, oh, you paid off the debt, oh great, well, we'll take you with us from this point forward. He's like, well, let's just go play this game, and if you can win, then you can be with us, go on our missions. Now, whether whether she genuinely wins or whether he lets her win or whatever, it doesn't matter really to me. It's like the fact that he still frames this as, you have to earn your way into this position. I just like that, and I've been very pleasantly surprised with this show that it's kept up that messaging, if you will. I've really been enjoying that. And so, yeah, while this has been a bit of a quieter episode, I've liked what episodes like that have done in terms of the character development. And it's clear, and it's like, if it wasn't clear, at the end of The Mandalorian with Luke saying the little line about talent without training and whatever, it's been very clear from this series that they've at least someone's been listening to fan feedback on some things and have been implementing that feedback in a good way.
And I think their names are Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
There's one thing that I do want to bring up, and this goes out to all of Twitter. Omega is not a Mary Sue. For Christ's sakes, get it through your head, figure it out. She's not a Mary Sue. And do we know that? And how do we know that? How can I say that for all certainty? Easy, because the Bad Batch don't turn into bloody rookies whenever she's around.
Correct.
She does not have Mary Sue powers. Yeah.
Yes. The other thing, it's not just that she doesn't have, because sometimes how Mary Sue's will be created is like, it's like, okay, well, we won't give Omega, say, Mary Sue physical powers, like she's not going to do stuff that Wrecker or Crosshair could do, but we'll give her, like, Mary Sue, like, mental powers. I like that Omega still is, like, I get Omega I will say, granted, Omega didn't really have a childhood, and so she does have knowledge of things that I think normal children wouldn't have knowledge of in that universe. But she still is ultimately a child in how she thinks. Like, I think of that first episode when we first see Fennec, when Fennec's like, oh, you're lost, here, I'll help you find your friends, and Omega's like, okay, great, and just takes her by the hand, and then you're just, if that's what a child would do, would go walk away with a stranger. I like that. You have things like that where Omega doesn't necessarily make good, like, Omega has some moments of, like, really good perception, but also moments where it's like she isn't seeing
she's very trusting.
Yes. She's kind of like this Rapunzel sort of character at times. Yeah.
Disney that. Rapunzel, yeah.
I mean, there could be worse, though. I mean, that one's actually not bad. I like that one. Actually, hold on.
I did too. I liked Disney's Rapunzel. Like, out of the Disney princess movies, that was a really dark, comparatively dark movie in some ways. But so
that movie doesn't really feel like Disney. Sometimes that movie doesn't feel like Disney. It was really intense.
I'm gonna have to watch that movie again. I feel completely.
You should.
For all that, I'm giving Commander Tano 3 of these.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
All right, one for coining.
There almost needs to be a running tally on the side.
I need to make a tally or something like that. That's what I'm going to do. Starting like next stream, I'm going to tally up who gets what. This might be a competition thing. You guys might have to try to one up each other. You know what? I think I'll do that. Whoever gets.
I
more
think
in
we're
the
up for
end.
the challenge.
All right.
You mean
But-
whoever gets more?
This is where the fun begins.
That shouldn't be on the tally.
That one might be. How many? We might have a separate tally for that. Whoever messes up more. I wasn't thinking when I did that though. I really wasn't. I think anytime I say that word, I just automatically go to it. I'm not kidding about that because I didn't mean to do that. You can tell it's a part of me. Okay, so one of those was for coining the term Mary suing. I should have gave you one for that a while back. The other two were like for the Tangle reference, which I didn't see, so you opened my eyes to that, and I like that. And the other one was just for explaining everything as well as you did. So 3 of them. Good job.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
See, you got 3 all in one go though. The other 2 had to, they got them at separate times. You got all 3 of them in a row at the
You
very
just
same
Mary
time.
sued the stream.
I did. I was just gonna say
Yes.
that.
Yes. Commander Tano is Mary
I'm
suing on the
Mary
stream.
Sue of the.
Yes, the Mary Sue of the Force Collective. You know what, Chrono? You get one of these for bringing that.
Good job.
And Commander Tano, you get one for being the Mary.
Good job.
And all right. I'm going to start tallying those though. Next stream. Just remind me if I forget that. Anyway, I guess. I mean, unless you have something else to say, Commander Tano, do you have anything else to say about that?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if there was anything else. I think that was it. But yeah, I really like that where it's like they've been very careful with the writing. Omega still is a child and her has a child's mind, and so she will trust strangers when she shouldn't. I like that stuff, and I like, as I've said, I've seen connections kind of to Tangled, and I like that. I think, and some people it's interesting, I will say as an aside, it's interesting to me sometimes when people are like, oh, I didn't like this thing that happened in this Star Wars thing because it reminded me of a Disney movie or whatever. It's like, if it's from a good Disney movie, then I'm down. I, for instance, one thing I did like from Rebels, so that whole Twilight of the Apprentice, it was like the end of season 2 with the Ahsoka versus Vader and the whole Sith Temple thing. I did like, because I know people have been saying like that Ezra was Space Aladdin, and he is. I did like the whole bit with Maul and there's this whole scene that kind of mimicked, with Aladdin trying to get out of the Cave of Wonders in Jafar, like the throw me the lamp stuff. And it didn't happen that way. Maul actually kind of helped Ezra out, but it was like, oh, that was kind of a fun little subversion of expectations, and they kind of fit those roles really well.
That's
and I'm like,
true.
I'm okay if it's from good Disney, then I don't care. I think by nature, like, stories will repeat tropes.
Yeah, I think everyone needs to remember when they go, oh, it's a bit like Disney. Yeah, the thing is that Disney's been making movies for how long? They've covered so much spectrum that you could probably relate
Anything to a Disney movie, you could.
Fast and Furious 9 to a Disney movie at some point. Or Cabin in the Woods to a Disney movie.
Actually, you can because of the family thing. You know how everything's about family, and that's Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't believe I was right.
Ohana means family.
Oh,
Means
I
nobody
just
gets left behind.
pulled Fast and Furious 9 out of my head simply because I watched a critical drinker YouTube video on it, so it was in my head. I didn't even say it because there was a connection, but it kind of proves my point.
Yeah.
That in sort of saying, oh, it's, it relates to too much like this Disney movie. Well, you can almost do that with bloody, it's almost sort of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon type situation here, where if you pay attention long enough, you can probably connect every movie to some other Disney movie in the massive collection of Disney movies.
Yes.
So
True.
it's not so much that everyone's copying Disney or everyone's trying to attach themselves to Disney. No, it's Disney's just so prolific that you're not gonna you're eventually going to knock into one somehow.
They've covered a lot of ground over the years when it comes to movies and plot and all that stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
some things will overlap at some point.
pretty much. So yeah, I that
Unless it's
statement
this.
bothers me. If you haven't realized,
Yeah. But anyway.
almost as much as calling bloody Omega a Mary Sue.
Yeah. Same with
But
that.
I wouldn't be surprised if. Hang on, do we know who have been calling her a Mary Sue?
Actually, I've not really seen many people do that. I've only seen a few people near the beginning when they first showed her, and when she took that lucky shot. I've seen, I think Ryan Kennel. I don't really watch him none, but I did
Who's
see.
that?
I think that's his name. RK Outpost.
Don't know him.
I really think Ryan has an issue with everything Disney Star Wars so far, that he's unable to actually perceive what is good. I mean, he labels every Disney Star Wars production as something that sucks, and I really don't like that. 'Cause, I mean, I hate Disney for doing so much harm to the brand, but I mean, if
need
it's
to
like,
reward
I'm not gonna
them
say I
when they
won't
do good.
enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when they do right, we should support what they do right. And I
Yeah.
think the people like Ryan have been, they are so disappointed on everything that they no longer care. And it's sad. It's sad to get there.
Though
Oh.
I will say it wasn't their fault though that they got to that point. So
No.
I mean, it goes both ways on that. But still, I don't usually watch him none. I'd seen a video of his a long time ago about Omega, and he called her Mary Sue. That's the only one I've seen that outright called her one that I remember. But I'm sure there was a lot of other people doing the same thing on that first episode when she shoots Crosshair's sniper, But
Oh yeah, I mean, I understand on the first episode, but yeah, with where it is right now, I definitely can't sort of understand that statement. Unless you were looking for ways to sort of hate on Omega. And actually, it's kind of funny that a lot of people have actually been growing to love Omega. Because Doomcock in his video with Cameron Pasha, pretty much stated that, yeah, she's growing on him. Very much like some other female character in a Dave Filoni
true.
Cartoon series.
True.
But
but
I agree. Like, I think he was kind of working off kind of his Ahsoka formula, but kind of, I think, maybe even doing a bit of a refining it a little bit. And also, I think refine the script kind of to reflect, fan feedback and to more explicitly acknowledge, like, yeah, we've heard what you've said about the Mary Sue issue, and rest assured, we're not doing that here.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, actually, sort of getting back to sort of a previous point that was sort of muddled into the middle. I can sort of understand people's viewpoint when they're sort of not wanting to engage with any Disney material. Because there's a YouTuber and Twitter personality, OG Star Wars.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. She came out with a tweet, sort of going along the lines. I'm going to be paraphrasing it because I'm just dragging it from memory. But it was very much sort of like along the lines of, how can we accept Disney Star Wars when they sort of trash the law of EU?
True.
And I mean, I can sort of understand it. Not so much because I never really got into the Star Wars EU. But the thing is that, when it comes to stuff in Hollywood, or, the entertainment industry, if they're going to create something new in an IP, they kind of get rid of the old, which is exactly what Disney did with getting rid of the EU. So the fact that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are, I guess you could sort of rechristening stuff from the EU, but they also realize that they can't just take wholesale due to the fact that it might not fit with what has happened and what is currently happened. It's kind of one of those things that you kind of have to we're just going to have to live with it.
Yeah.
Now, if they screw around with established canon, as in what they've called canon, sort of, Luke in the Last Jedi. Sorry, I just sneezed. Then, yeah, no, absolutely get the pitchforks, get the torches, we march. But if it is from the EU, it's kind of one of those cases of we're just going to have to live with it. It's probably not great, but it's not something that we can sort of influence, and it's not something that we're going to be able to be angry and should get angry at, because it ain't going to change. Now, if they screw around with established canon, yeah, no, absolutely. It is something that we can get angry at and enact change, which we have, because KK and her witchy alkalites are going to be shown the door.
Yes.
So it's I guess you could say it's a big case of just picking your battles, and unfortunately, when it comes to the EU, the battle is done. But the thing is that the battle for the soul of Star Wars is absolutely not done, and we should absolutely fight for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, now we've got our thoughts on that out of the way, I guess it's my turn to say a thing or two about this last episode. Honestly, I only have one thing to describe this episode with, and it is more in terms of like with that that Walker battle. I want. Well, this right here will explain what I want. I want more Walker battles. I want it. They did one like that in Rebels, but it didn't last long enough, in my opinion. So I want more. And I'm not. I want more, and I know I shouldn't, but I do. Okay, I had to make the reference. I had to.
It was definitely an amusing battle, even if it was sort of quite slow. It really did look like a conga line of turtles shooting at each other.
Yes, and that's the beauty of it, though. That's the beauty.
Oh yeah,
of it.
no, I absolutely, completely agree.
There was one thing I found a bit odd. I mean, the other walker, the one that started pursuing them, they got a clean shot from across a building, and then when they had them right in front of them, they missed 3 shots.
Yep.
I mean,
I did notice that.
what was that about?
That right there, I agree. I was expecting them to get hit again. Honestly, I wish they would have not let that Walker take the shot. Those 2 shots, they should have been able to like get a shot, but at the very last second miss because that the other Walker got too far behind cover for them to actually take an accurate shot. That's what I would have rather seen, as opposed to them actually getting 2 clean shots and missing both of them. So that I do agree. That was sort of just a plot armor moment, you know.
Yeah.
But
I probably would have preferred more of a laser battle from the
they should make more use
Walkers
of all
rather
the other
than-
parts of the Walker. That's what you're trying to say. Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I really would have liked to have seen, you know, one of the Bad Batch jump into the rear laser turrets and, you know, start firing or something.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. I
yeah,
was wondering. Go ahead.
the
Yeah, why
Bad
didn't
Batch
they use
just
the
seemed
guns?
Yeah.
the Bad Batch just seemed to just use it as a troop transport.
Yeah. See, I wanted one of them to jump in the Top Gun and shoot out the Walker that was directly behind them, preventing that Walker from getting a good shot, even though they were closer than the other one when they took that shot. That would have also added a bit of a reason for them to not get hit and to continue the chase on, because there was more Walkers after that too. The thing about all that, I want like a, in a way, I guess it's a little weird to say it like this, but a Star Trek style battle between Walkers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you
I'm
want
glad
to play Battleship Walkers.
Yeah, exactly. Like they'll be sort of in a way like the one from Rebels, except they only used it to get away rather than fight back so much. But I don't think they had any guns on the front or in the back. I think they removed them, didn't they? They only had the main gun.
Yeah, they didn't. They did.
But you know, I think
a
that
lot
they
of the
did
weapons.
they did think this way because if I think we all noticed that they don't want to hurt the clones. I think that's why they didn't use the guns on the transport.
That's true. They chose to use stun weapons on the clones this time around, which I thought was a little odd, but it was also nice to see that as well, because first of all, in like the first other episodes, they were just shooting them to kill them. Now they're shooting them to stun them. I don't know what I don't know why or what the reasoning is for that. I mean, not that I'm disappointed. I'm not. So, I mean, I want a bit of an explanation to what that is. But I think the best thing, besides the Walker fight that I truly enjoyed, besides that, I think the best thing about this episode was the dynamic of having to work with a previous enemy of yours. and the effects of that on a person's mind. Let's say Echo, because he's the one that protested it the most. I wanted to see a little more of of Echo being like, I guess this person isn't like terribly bad. Okay, I got you, Commander Tono. I got you.
Yeah, see ya. Have fun.
Yeah, have a good one. All right. So, anyways, so honestly, I really like that dynamic, and I want them to play a little more with that, like having their previous enemies show up and having to work together and trying to work out their differences and realize, oh, we're not that much different than you. We both had a cause and we both wanted to fight for it. You're not as all bad like we once thought. And, because not all the separatists were bad. We get to see that in a Heroes on Both Sides episode from Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I think that was season 3. I think it was Heroes on Both Sides. Was that the name of it?
Sounds
Yeah.
familiar. I think so.
I think it
Yeah.
was.
So Padme goes to see a friend of hers, which was a separatist. Yeah, it's Heroes on Both Sides. Okay, that's where Ahsoka meets Lux Monteri. Okay, yeah, that's it. So I like that dynamic, and I like seeing the people that have been taught, oh, these people are evil. Oh my gosh, we can't associate with them. And then when they get to associate with one of them, they happen to be a lot better of a person than you give them credit for. So I like that, and I want more of that.
It seems like there was a message.
Yeah, there might have been.
Actually, it works pretty well for that because you know how I was talking about the people that want everyone to be angry at everyone, and in the Star Wars universe, we know the war was rigged. It wasn't a natural conflict. It was Palpatine orchestrating everything. He played both sides.
Yeah, that's true. And
yeah, it's pretty much like what's happening in the world right now.
It's almost like it's an allegory for the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Keyword, allegory.
See, Rebels played with that too. With I forgot the name of the episode, but it was the episode where Rex and Kanan and Ezra find the separatist tactical droid.
Oh, yep.
And they play its game, that one. So they end up realizing in the end that neither of them won the Clone War. It was never meant for either of them to win it. And so they end up working together to fight the Empire. And so it was nice to see the droids fight alongside the clones, or Rex, since he was the only clone there. And which we also got a tease of that in an earlier episode of The Bad Batch, which I thought was also interesting. I don't know. I have a thing for that kind of stuff in these types of shows, and I want more. I'm not playing the clip. I promise. But I'm just being dead serious. I want more of that. They need to add more like, let's say, let me come up with a scenario. Let's say, no, actually, I'm afraid I'll mess it up. Let's just say I want more. That's it.
I guess what you mean is you want more development out of those kind of situations.
Yeah, exactly. I'm having trouble with words right now. But yes, you're completely right. That's exactly what I want.
You should have got yourself checked out at the hospital.
What now?
You should have gotten yourself checked out at the hospital after the accident.
Oh, gosh. Well, see, the thing is, nothing happened to me. I mean, besides the fact that I was shaken up. I don't know. I don't know.
Actually, I've been meaning to ask.
Yes.
Because it really shocked me when you said it, and I was like, should I ask him or not? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to ask it. Is the Camaro okay?
Yes, yes. It's okay, I promise. Thank you for asking. I'm sure my car will appreciate it. The Camaro is okay. But I will say, I've never been so close to another vehicle like that in my life at a speed that of that rate. Or I was completely stopped, but I never been so close to a vehicle with my own vehicle like that, and it scared the daylights out of me. I feel like I was partially annoyed because I thought he did scratch against it, but the only thing that I think it so much as just slightly grazed my vehicle, because all I seen was like a black mark, and that was probably from his tire because his vehicle sat up pretty high. A black mark that wasn't on my vehicle before, and I touched it and it just wiped off, and I'm like, that's all that I got out of this. But the other guy's in a ditch completely. So yes, the Camaro is okay. It came out with a very minor injury to the car, even though it's not an injury. It's just a slight mark to the car. So yeah, it's good.
In all seriousness, I'm glad you're okay too.
Well, okay.
We
Okay.
all are.
See, the car was the most important part, because it costs more than I do. Okay, but seriously though,
I don't think your
that-
parents would agree with that statement.
no, I know they wouldn't agree with that. They'd be like, Andrew, don't say that. Yes, my name's Andrew. I didn't mean to do that, but I did it anyway. So yes, my name's Andrew.
You've already done that. You've already done
What?
that, Shades.
I think I
You
did.
remember?
Yes,
Hold the
you've already
celebration
done that.
Okay. Well, for anybody that didn't know, my name's Andrew. So, yeah. Anyway, they would be like, "Don't say that. You're not." Or that you are, or whatever. If I say something negative about myself, they'll be like, "No, that's not true." Anyway,
Well,
enough about me.
For memory, I think the cost of raising a child to 18 is sort of like almost $1 million or something
Lord, I'm
over the
telling you,
lifetime.
over a lifetime, yeah, I can see that. Especially with inflation down here now, it'll probably be twice that due to all the stimulus checks.
So you being valued more than the car? No. Too much investment. Actually, I think it's a lot less than $1 million. I just remember it
probably
being an obscene amount of money type situation.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was $1 million, or at least close to it. Man, we're getting way off from this.
Because I mean, you would also have to include governmental investment.
Oh, well,
So yeah, no, it could be.
yeah.
Who knows?
All right, let's move on. And for asking about my Camaro,
Good job.
you gotta step it up.
That's how you do it. That's how you get ahead. Stroke Shade's ego.
You know what? For figuring out my plans,
Good job.
there you go, Throwaway. You got it. You finally got one. That's not actually how. Whenever I feel let's say
Satisfied.
that's not the word. That's not the word I'd use for it. More like impressed by something that has been said, I will do it. So, or if you make me realize something I never realized ever in my life, you gotta give me something good, and then you'll get one of those. That's a special clip for a special person. So far, Chrono has been crushing it though. But that might change starting next stream because we're actually going to keep track of it next time. Put in the comments who you think you'll win next. Who do you think will win next week's stream? Leave it in the comments. I don't know. Whoever watches this. Anyway. Anyway.
That would be Commander Tano, of course. Because she's the Mary Sue of this collective.
That's true. That's true. You know what? Even though she's not here,
Good job.
there we go.
Uh,
What?
Mary Sue powers are activated
Yeah.
even when she's not here.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Don't you know what a Mary Sue does?
Oh yeah, no.
She's probably Mary suing whatever
Re-
she is, whatever she's doing. right now.
Reality warping powers.
Yes, yes. She's probably like for the whatever reason she had to get off, which is in the private chat here. She's probably Mary suing it. So
Yeah, they called her from work to Mary Sue the situation.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. They couldn't do this.
Let her go.
They couldn't do that.
No.
They had to have her back. Anyway, I say anyway a lot. We're going to go ahead. Is there anything else you want to say about this episode? I think I got my thoughts out. Is there anything else you want to say about this before we start ending the stream? And no, we're not making it to 3 hours, and I am not going to let you do that. I will end the stream before 3 hours, whether we're done talking or not.
You
Don't
mean 4
try me.
hours? 4 for
No.
4 for 4.
No, no, that ain't happening. That is not happening. Nope. Maybe someday, but no, not right now.
3 hours should be fine.
No, they aren't. They're not fine. What do you think? You're some kind of Jedi waving your hand around like that? I'm Shane.
Please,
I
Chrono,
am
tell
the
me you
leader
were
of
waving
this
your hands
stream.
around like a Jedi.
Of course I am.
Yes.
Anyways,
Come on,
If
Shay.
you-
Come on.
if you guys ain't got nothing else to say, we're going to go ahead and start ending the stream right here.
What do you mean we don't have any? We have more to say.
Darn you.
That's not the clip that I thought you would have actually played.
What clip did you think I was going to play?
I thought Chrono was going to get a good one.
Well, see, the thing is, I was about to, but I need to. I think I've already gave him one for that very reason, though. So I don't want to like overdo it. You know what I mean?
Sorry,
Yeah,
hang
you
on.
gotta feel
You
it.
you not overdoing clips? Hang on. I
Yeah,
thought this was the
exactly.
Force Collective.
Well, I don't overdo clips. Come on,
Liar!
don't be a liar. Don't lie to me.
Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Don't lie to me.
You're the one that's lying.
Liar!
Say that again. I dare you. Say it again.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Do it.
I
How
dare
dare
you.
you?
I dare you to say it again. If you do, you'll get what's coming to you.
Which is
You'll find out later. You don't
Okay,
want to
so,
know.
so I do have a question.
Okay. Go ahead.
What are your predictions for the next episode?
Oh,
no.
we didn't do a prediction part. Well, you know what? I'm not going to do a full-on prediction part. I'm just going to give my little predictions here. So leaving off where it did, I think, I'm not going to use my prediction powers because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But I will give my best guess here. So what I'm thinking is that they are going to start realizing her talent for strategy, and they might start implementing her into some sort of way of using her as a strategist for some of their missions. So I'm thinking that's something they're leading to. I don't know if that will be in the next episode. I'm sure it will be in the future. I'm hoping that's where it goes. But
I hope not.
you hope not?
The thing is that having a mind that can do strategy doesn't mean that you have the experience to do so, especially when sort of leading a squad.
Well, I'm saying like in terms of
It-
like in the future. I doubt that it will be in the immediate future.
Oh,
but-
sorry, I thought you were talking about next episode.
Oh
Carry
no,
on.
no. No, I mean they might like value some of her input when it comes to certain situations, but she won't be the full-on strategist. That's probably more of Tech's job or Echo's job rather than her job. So I'm thinking that they will try helping her develop those skills because, like Commander Tano said, Sid was down talking her, but that was motivating her to try to be valuable to the team. So she's going to try to be valuable to the team. And whether that means her giving her opinion on some things and maybe even being right about some things when it comes to strategy. But it's not going to be a case of her like automatically taking over Hunter's place on the squad and being like, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm just a little kid, but I know more than Sergeant Hunter over here, so I'm now your new squad leader. No, it's not going to go that way. I'm thinking it's just
That
going to
almost sounds like a Mary Sue.
That's true. That's true. Thank you for
Good job.
you got that for pointing that out. Anyway.
That's
Anyway.
what Ray would do.
That's true. That's what Ray would do. She's been on a desert planet for all her life practically. Automatically comes out knowing exactly how to strategize a team of troopers to fight a whole army. Yeah, she knows all that stuff. So, or that she would have if she was Omega.
Actually, that just I'm gonna have to bring that up now.
I'm afraid to let you do that because it'll probably take more than 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Well, we can leave it to next stream if you want.
No, go ahead. If we go over
Okay.
3 hours, it's okay. I'll allow it.
Okay.
This time.
See, I told you it was okay.
Okay. Hang on a
Uh-huh.
second.
Okay, fine. Maybe I fell for it this time.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, Screen Rant came out with an article. We can do the article next
Good idea.
next stream. But yes, the Star Wars High Republic introduces a new rare force power that allows users to instinctively understand
Oh, yeah,
technology,
that.
which
Oh
seeming
yeah, you shared
That's
that.
an
right.
ability Anakin used to build 3PO.
That's terrible.
I know.
That's-
But someone tweeted underneath that a better example would be Rey understanding the Millennium Falcon as much as Han Solo, despite only having been inside it for 10 minutes. Seems
Yeah.
like this new power is attempting to explain poor story writing from the newer movies.
Yeah.
Completely agree. Now, someone came in after that, and so we forget that Rey was a natural technician from all of the scavenging and piloting she's done with other craft. I mean, look at her land speeder.
Well, they'll just go back.
A very complicated craft.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, and everyone forgets she's been through a Star Destroyer on her own foot, home field advantage.
Yeah.
I responded with, scavenging does not make you a technician. You could pull apart 100 cars, know all of the valuable parts, but still wouldn't be able to repair a car. Unless you were taught how and why they work, the only thing you could do is complete a 3D mechanical jigsaw puzzle that might work.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
I mean-
I've forgotten why I brought that up.
I don't know why you brought it up either. Well, let me just say, like, if you wanted to give her a reason to understand technology the way she does, maybe as much as she's been in those Star Destroyers, maybe some of those like systems still had maybe she had a way of getting power to them and maybe learning like the schematics of the Star Destroyer, maybe figuring out what parts work with what. I mean, you never know. you can reason it out all you want to. It doesn't. I mean, but to do a force power like that, I think that's stupid. They just keep adding force powers that don't make sense.
Yep. And I mean the thing is that from memory, Anakin was meant to be someone who repairs stuff in Watto's shop. It wasn't that
He was
he
probably
there
taught
to
how to
pull
do that.
stuff. Yeah, he
He had a natural talent for it, of course, but it was made better with probably the training that Watto gave him. I'd assume that Watto trained him. Somebody had to have taught him something. He couldn't have just been born with a wrench in his hand and started fixing something in his mom's house the day after he was born. Like, come on.
Yeah, in Anakin's case, it's a mixture of he was trained obviously by his slavers to do the work because he worked in the shop, and also he has this strong connection to the Force that makes him grasp concepts and stuff easier and quicker than other people. So yeah, it's natural
I wouldn't even say that. I think it's just sort of a case of natural innate talent. You don't need the Force. The Force really came into his life with pod racing.
But according to Qui-Gon, he was exceedingly intuitive. So that I'm saying that might have played a role on understanding mechanics and everything. Not exactly that the Force made him be a better mechanic, but his intuition, it was heightened.
That's true. It's a Jedi trait.
It's a Jedi trait, yeah.
Yeah. That's also a Jedi trait. Anyway.
Still baby whales, I see.
Yes, I have to. I gotta keep them happy. They're behind. Okay, I've got like a whole bunch of them behind a fence here, and they go a little rabid if they don't see that clip. So, don't mind the clip. That's just to keep them calm before they act. Look, they will feel like they owe me for showing them these clips, so they will protect me.
God, the image of rabid Reylo fans in a cage, just bad image. Just bad image.
Hold that thought. All right, yeah. No, I'm safe now. Okay. Anyways, I say that a lot. I said that earlier, but how many times I need to tally that too? How many times do I say anyway? Because I say it a lot. Anyway. Look, I say look a lot too. Oh my goodness. I'm like listening to myself now saying this stuff as I say it, and now I'm realizing how much I say certain things, and the problem with that is I'm so used to talking the way I do that it will be so hard to stop that. Now I want to stop saying anyways every 2 seconds, or hey, look, this is this, or you know what I'm saying. Anyway, see, there we go.
Listen.
There we go.
No,
see?
Don't stop. Then it wouldn't be you.
You guys had to. I said it again. Okay, so I didn't say it this time. Okay, so we're gonna end the stream now. If you guys enjoyed the stream, even though it was like, I mean, I guess 2 hours of talking about Bad Batch was good, and then like it was almost 2 hours of Bad Batch, and then 1.5 hours of politics, which I think I need to make something separate for that if I want to talk about politics in general. But
no, I mean it works. I mean it works.
Yeah.
The first half is just for Star Wars news, which just unfortunately has a big helping of politics.
Unfortunately,
because some people think that everything is politics.
That's true.
So it's just sort of a case of it's unavoidable, and then the next part is all the fun stuff in the Bad Batch, which also gets political.
Remember
Yeah,
unwhitewashed?
you could
Bad
say
Batch?
the political aspect of the stream was sponsored by Lego.
Yes.
Hey Lego, The this is to the company Lego. There's plenty of space for sponsoring for sponsorship on this stream.
We would gladly take some of those Boba Fett starships sets.
Yeah, I'll take 3. I'll take 3. Actually, go back to the old retro one. That one's bigger and better. Seriously, the new Lego Starship or the new Slave one is small.
Yeah, they're
compared
making
to
them
the
all
other one.
smaller.
I hate that. That Legos used to be really, really awesome. And now, like, I mean, some of them ain't that bad. I even have like a collection of them back behind me over here. But the thing is, like, I have one of the AATs that came with Ahsoka and a clone trooper from season 7 with the Ahsoka markings on his helmet. That one is smaller than the one that came out when the Clone Wars was airing. I had a bigger AAT a long time ago. This was a long time ago. I had a bigger one, and it was much nicer. And then they come out with this one over here, and it's tiny compared to the other one. So it's a lot of the stuff that they seem to be coming out with has like, especially for the bigger ones, has shrunk down in size, and I don't understand why that is. Because I mean, yeah, I get it. Legos are mostly for kids, but for those that like to collect this stuff, you know, I'd hate to buy something that looks cheaper than the one that I paid $50 for years ago. Yes, it was $50.
They're not cheap at all.
What now?
Yeah, they are not cheap at all. I mean, as you say, they should really think about that before. They are still doing some big sets, but I think the thing with Star Wars is they are really trying to market to younger audiences, and they are considering the pricing. I mean, the bigger the set, the more expensive it becomes. So
And I think
yeah,
I think it's also a case of smaller product, cheaper, sell for larger profit.
True. Plus, I mean, I get it. Kids, they don't really pay that much attention as for, you know, people like us that do pay attention to, like, let's say, how things used to be, like if it was bigger back then and it's and now it's like smaller but just as expensive. Yeah, we see those things because we've lived long enough to see that kind of change happen. But I'm 24, so I'm not like that old, but I've seen a lot of change, especially over the last couple of years, especially with pricing of things and stuff like that. So,
I'm almost
I mean,
40, so I've seen a lot of changes.
there.
Yay! I'm not the oldest on the stream. Yay!
No, you're not.
No, I mean, things change so quickly nowadays. I want to say that I bet people like way back in the day might have experienced this kind of change that we see now, but over a longer period of time, as opposed to us when things just seem to change instantly. I'm not sure, but it just feels like things didn't change that much back then. Mostly everything was just discovery of this or that, like, oh, the internet, that's a thing. And once the internet came out, things really changed after that. So I think everything was slower because, you know, the internet wasn't around back then. So
yeah, the internet really sped up the evolution of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the kind of change that we experience now, especially for younger people, as for myself, like over the last 4 years, the job that I work for has changed so much. And then my dad, who used to work the same job, has told me some things about it. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, there has been so much change here. But then over the last 4 years, especially with this last year, with the COVID incident and all that, there has been so many changes. And it's not even just like changes to the place I work, but changes in the people that work there, or changes in like how the people act when they come into the store, that kind of stuff. So that, change happens a lot faster nowadays than it did, let's say, back in the 60s or something like that.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
that's the point I was getting at. But why are we talking about this again? I don't know.
Because it's entertaining.
It's an interesting topic, I guess.
It is.
Not exactly a Star Wars topic, but maybe we'll save that for a chill stream. I don't think I've had a chill stream in a while. We might do that next stream. Have just a chill stream. We'll talk briefly about the Bad Batch, and then
It's not going to be brief.
We will try to be brief, save it for at least an hour, but then we'll chill for the next hour and a half. We'll just talk about anything else. Yeah, I feel like that'd be better. We'll do that. Just have a chill stream. Yeah, that's what we'll do. I still will be tallying, so you guys better be ready to compete. I don't know what I'll give you. I might give you my let's see what. Hold on, I got an idea. What was it? It's like Undying Respect or something like that. Wasn't that the reference in the Clone Wars? Yeah. Anakin says, or no, Ki-Adi-Mundi's like, "What do I win?" And Anakin's like, "My undying respect." Or something like
yes,
that.
I remember that.
That was the reference I was trying to make. That was the reference I was trying to make. Yes. You'll get my undying respect. That's what you'll get. So if you value my respect, my undying respect that much, then you know what to do.
Do it.
Anyways, see, I say it again. I'm going to tally that too next time, probably. I don't know, but we're going. This time we're actually going to end it. So if you enjoyed, please leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you enjoyed, and give us ideas. Maybe subscribe if we earned it. Also, we have a Discord. It's in the description down below. If you're not part of it, then what are you doing with your life? You should be there. Go there now. I mean it. Because bad things will happen. Pay no attention to that on the screen. That is not foreshadowing.
No.
That is not foreshadowing what will happen to you.
Liar!
Anyway. That time I meant to say it. Anyway. It was great having you two on here tonight, and Commander Tano. I don't want to forget her. She's not here, but it was great having her on here too. She's probably off Mary suing somewhere. Anyways, we're going to end. So thank you guys so much for being on here, and thank you everybody for watching. It has been real fun, and we will see you all in the next one. Let me find the outro because I was stuck at the very bottom of that trying to find clips earlier. Here we go. See you guys later, and may the force be with you always.